check. Hello, everyone, everybody. Welcome to SUBstore TV, Volume 2. Yay! Today, our guest is from Call&Response Records, Ian F.Martin, who knows like Call&Response has been since 2005 in Koenji, and then it's like a records label and even organizer. They're dedicated to seeking out the best independent underground music all over Japan and international. Specialty for post-punk, new wave, indie pop, alternative post-rock and punk. So I don't want to talk too much. Please welcoming Ian F.Martin. Welcome, bro. Thank you. Hey, Ian, how are you, man? It's been a while.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. I'm going to be keeping the mask on today because I feel like I want to give a good impression to the people, people watching.
Sorry. Yeah, by the way,
I don't want to get cancelled.
It's good. It's good to see you. You know, like it's been since March. We haven't since we haven't seen you lately. How the things going so far?
Oh man, spending a lot of time in my house. I'm really getting used to that place at the moment.
Right on.
It's been it's been strange dealing with being involved in the music scene, and suddenly like all the places that I used to go out to every week, all the places where I used to kind of meet my friends, where I used to hang out with people, where just like all of the kind of contact and all of the like the networks of kind of information and just sort of social networks that we had in physical spaces have had to kind of retreat, and we're trying to figure out a new way of kind of contacting each other and kind of getting stuff done.
Right. But how's your I heard you're still doing your job, and but how's your labels doing? It's like Call&Response. So far, is there any? Yeah, for sure, live events. You couldn't organize any events on that during the Corona, but I heard you still releasing some interesting stuff, or please tell me about it.
Well, we've been doing a few things.
Mm-hmm.
So Japan went through its own kind of lockdown, didn't it? Like for like a couple of months, and that was that was kind of an interesting period because like before that, I think there was a big divide between the way like people were behaving, or the way people were approaching the pandemic. I think a lot of, especially my foreign friends, were very kind of, oh, dude, this is bad. We cannot go outside. You cannot meet people. You cannot do anything.
Yeah.
And I think there was a much wider range of different kind of attitudes among Japanese people. I think partly because like foreigners were getting all their information from overseas media, or getting a lot of their information from overseas media, and things they were seeing kind of much worse things kind of than you were getting from just watching TV in Japan. But so when the actual sort of state of emergency was declared, I kind of breathed a huge sigh of relief, because it's like finally everyone was on the same page again,
Right.
We all had a clear kind of, all right, we all stay at home now kind of thing,
Yeah.
So in that period we did some kind of fun stuff. We like I was trying to raise money for a few kind of local music bars and places, including this place.
Yeah, sure.
And we sort of, me and some friends and some musicians that I work with, we kind of put together these kind of little projects of doing free download covers albums and stuff to kind of.
Yeah, that's I heard it very I saw in the post. It's very interesting. Our friends who came here, like your artist in your labels is doing a cover some musician that they prefer. Then it's really really interesting, I think.
Not just artists as well. It was a lot of it was just people who hang out at the shows.
Oh, really?
Who aren't even musicians would just they just tried their hands at it.
I
It
see.
was, I mean, partly that was just to raise money, but partly it was kind of to keep the community sort of active with each other.
Right,
You
right.
know. Now I think now everything's moved into a much more sort of, oh God, this is going to be a really long time kind of sort of mindset now. So sort of maybe it's a bit less of a party now.
Yeah.
Much more of a sort of thinking seriously about what are the new kinds of institutions that we're going to have to build to get ourselves through this.
Yes. Yeah, because as we see, this pandemic is not. It's kind of up and down, and then they open it up again in Tokyo. Now, recently, they kind of like a bit tighten up again from the governor, and then even like I told you before, I went to the show last Tuesday, but it's still less people. I mean, the real life, you know. But yeah, we couldn't see it's like in Japanese because yominai, like we can't read, and but the thing is like, yeah, I see like a lot of activity that you still posting on the Facebook, like, hey, everyone's like, before that we're gonna say hello to everyone who saw in Instagram, on the Facebook, thank you very much, and then like thanks for your support. And then, yeah, if you see, guys, like, hello. If you see on the Facebook, so easy. You just type it, Call and Response Records. A lot of, or Ian Martin, he posting a lot of musics and a lot of, yeah, music related, new releasing and anything. So, by the way, Ian, is there any music you wanna play today a bit, and then you wanna share a story about it? I mean, it's personal, or your feeling, or kind of your you like it today, like kind of like.
All right. Well, like maybe
Yeah.
Start with this
Yes.
one then. So, like, you were asking about some of the stuff that we've been doing, you know, during the pandemic, and
Correct.
well, one of the most recent release that the label's done is we just did this on as a sort of Bandcamp only download release, because we're still not sure
Yeah.
like how to even distribute physical media. You know, we don't have gigs to sell them at, and
Right.
sending goods overseas is troublesome at the moment, because like
The shipment, yeah.
Japan Post is kind of I mean, they don't really want you sending things to America at the moment because there's not enough flights to carry the goods on. And I think it's, you know, I tried sending like a Father's Day present to my dad recently, and I'm not sure that's arrived yet. So Europe is not that kind of reliable either. But yeah, we did this download only thing, and again, like for like fundraising as well, like all the money that we get from it is going to a live venue in like near here in Nakano. That so yeah, shall we?
Yeah, sure.
That
Shoot
will
it, man.
play with it.
When I am 何もかも大丈夫ああもうこの島を君の秘密でロケ君とよそれ目にギャラクシー花火が上がりますわけなんて知らないけどWhy wow それは秘密秘密のアンカー Oh wow Why wow 君の秘密ラララララララララ
Alright, so you wanna tell me a bit of this band name? I mean, like, yeah.
Yeah, that was
Sure.
that was Jailbird Y, and
Jailbird Y.
the song was called Y War. The band's kind of, well, they're originally from Hiroshima, although like most of the current lineup are in Tokyo, so I think it's kind of struggle for them at the moment, just because the members can't get together and do anything, and they're trying to find a way of doing it kind of remotely.
All right.
Of doing the band remotely at the moment. I was talking to the vocalist the other day, and he was saying that they did a kind of they tried doing a sort of online session, which sounds like it was a bit of a mess because of the the latency and the in like the sort of the transmission things. But yeah, I mean they're remaining kind of active, and they're a really good band for me to be dealing with at the moment, because especially like if I'm feeling sort of losing my motivation, because it's just sort of it can be kind of depressing when you think about the future, but they've got a lot of energy, and that sort of helps kind of replenish my own motivation.
Yeah.
Anyway, good band. Money
Great,
goes
great.
to a local venue here in Tokyo, so
I mean, yeah, just pass me about, like, we're talking about motivation, like, I mean, I want a little bit back to the old story, like before we meet, like you start this label kind of Call&Response Records is it's from 2005, if I'm not wrong.
yeah.
2005 is pretty long, man. Like
Yeah.
2005. I haven't lived here actually.
Yeah.
I'm starting here 2009, and like the year 2005, kind of my senpai, bro. Like, I mean, in Koenji or before there, like now it's 2002. It's almost 15 years.
There's
so-
got to be kids starting bands now who
Yeah,
were
yeah.
born when this label started, right?
Right. What's? I mean, I just wanna people, my friends, our some people already know about you, about us, but some people's. I mean, what's the? I mean, in the big image, what's your not concept, but what is your pictures, to open the to starting the label in Japan in 2005, start from one band to three bands, or like releasing record CDs, or like, I mean, yeah, could you elaborate it about it, like
Like
back in the days?
well, it's sort of actually it was really I started getting into the music scene here in about 2003. I started writing a blog about just the bands that I was going to see.
Okay.
At like small venues in Tokyo, and I think I sort of got involved in that. I sort of lost myself in the kind of live scene in these tiny little sort of basement venues, partly just kind of so that I'd have something to do or something to connect with, because I was like a foreigner in this country and I didn't really, I wasn't really part of anything here. And I think the music scene sort of became that for me, just like a way of connecting. And then around 2004, I started putting on my own events.
Okay.
Because I was just I mean, part of that's just arrogance, you know. I was going to a lot of gigs and I'd like one or two bands, but not all of them. So I was like, I can do this better.
Yeah.
And so I started organising my own and sort of realised how difficult it was. And then the label followed on from that it was a compilation album to begin with. It was just a lot of the bands that I liked or that were playing in sort of events that I'd been booking for the past year or so. But yeah, I mean, I think a lot of it came out of this need to find some sort of connection. And I think I've noticed the same kind of mindset coming from a lot of the artists I work with and the sort of friends that I've picked up over the years, that they, you know, little spaces like this, like SUBstore, become kind of part of your home and like part of how you connect with the sort of world you live in. There's I think like Tokyo's so massive that it's impossible to even conceive of as well, like as just a person walking around on a day-to-day basis. And I have this sort of theory that, you know, on a sort of psychic level or on a sort of cosmic level, nobody lives in Tokyo.
Right.
People, you don't live in Tokyo. You kind of live in, you make some small Tokyo for yourself inside it. And there's thousands, millions of different Tokyos all existing sort of parallel to each other and never interacting with each other.
Definitely.
And so the music scene, and especially like, and even within the music scene, there are lots of different Tokyo music scenes that just don't connect with each other at all.
Yeah.
And, you know, we're in one very small one of those.
So you're starting from there, then like...
pretty much stayed there, really.
Yeah. 2005 is pretty long, and in 2016, if I'm not wrong, so you write a books. Is maybe everyone didn't know or everyone knows, like Quit Your Band. If I'm not, it's 2016. Yeah?
Oh, it came out in 2016. Yeah, it took me like 3 years to write it.
First, yeah. So this is like, I saw it first time before I know you in Kinokuniya bookshop. So it's pretty catch, like a really strong name, like a Quit Your fucking band. Yeah. I mean, what's your main I mean, what's the behind this, you know, bro? Like, I mean, are you upset, angry, or you have a lot of idea, and or because it's called musical notes from the Japanese underground and evolution J-pop, when it's its history, like
the I mean, just where it came from was that the publisher Matthew from Awai Books, he'd been
Matthew Shozik.
Yeah. He'd been I've been writing articles for. At that time, I was writing a column for the Japan Times, which they cancelled almost immediately after the book came out. I'm sure those things weren't connected in any way, but he'd been using some of my columns for like university classes that he was teaching here, and he had this idea of just collecting a bunch of those columns into a book. And I just sort of reacted with horror to this idea because I'd written some of them like a really long time ago, and I was just like, oh God, no, you know, sort of old stuff that I wrote. It's terrified me. Like, how bad is that stuff? So I said to him, you know what? Give me 6 months and I'll write you a new book. And, you know, it took me like 3 years in the end, but and so I was able to maybe kind of tie it together a little bit more because I knew what it was all. I was writing it all as one thing. But the title itself was, I mean, it came from the sort of lyrics of this band called Nakigao Twintail. Mm-hmm. I'd just seen them at a show in Fukuoka a few years before, or like round about the time I started working on the book. And they were like 17 years old, these like 5 girls it was at the time. And they there was this one song where they were just saying, Yamete yaru, konna bando, yamete yaru. You know, I'm going to quit this band.
Yeah.
And so I had the idea, like, quit your band. The words just kind of rang nicely to me. I mean, there's a lot of other sort of bullshit I can talk about the
Yeah.
title, but mostly I just like the sound of the phrase. It's like Sonic Youth, kill your idols,
Yeah,
and sort of,
yes.
whatever.
But kill your idols is like idols. But when I see that books in the hontok, real in the Kunio Kunio, quit your band, like, dude, like.
I mean, it's good advice for most people, though, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
most people probably should quit their
Yeah,
band.
yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying they're bad bands or anything, but it's like, for your own sake, you should
Yes,
probably
yes.
quit.
It's a motivation, but kind of sarcasm, like.
Well, the way I see it, it's more of a challenge than
Yeah.
a kind of advice. It's like, if you kind of react to it negatively, like, what, quit my band? I don't want to do that. It's like, all right, why not?
Why not?
You know, make a reason for yourself not to quit. I think that's what I've been doing. I mean, with that zine that I made earlier this year to celebrate 50 releases from Call&Response, a lot of what the articles in that zine were was it was about sort of.
Yeah.
I think it was. The people who wrote the articles in there, was like me and some other people connected with the label. But we're really, I think what we were all grappling with is like, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
Why haven't I quit? And so I think that question sort of, quit your band, quit music. It's just, it hovers constantly through all of our lives, you know. More and more the older you get.
So a couple months ago, if everybody didn't know, it's like Call&Response Records, Ian is like make the 50th release kind of anniversary party, and
Yeah, we snuck it under the snuck it in there just before the Corona door closed. You know,
before the Corona. Then yeah, remember you did this T-shirt as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Ian made it. Then it's like a zine, like a lot of like Call&Response family tree. It's like the 50th tree kind of history story that Ian told about. Then of course there's a compilation CD, and it's available down here in SUBstore. So if you wanna check it, you can come and buy it. You know, like it's not expensive anyway. By the way, so before we goes to another topic, you got something to play the second song, Ian?
Okay, well, this is
yeah.
here's a song from the that's on the compilation album that comes with that
Okay.
with that zine.
Yeah.
And it's a song by a band called Mir. They were one of the first bands that I signed for Call&Response, and they've
The first band you
one
signed.
of the first.
One of the
they were
first.
among the first.
I know.
So one of the very early releases was by them, and this is a sort of kind of rare track by them that we featured on this compilation.
All right.
Very
Check
important
this out.
band for me personally. You might want to. Oh, there it goes.
Oh
said, it's good songs.
Yeah.
Really great. Like, yeah. Back again to the 50th release of Call&Response Records.
It's actually
like
the 52nd release because
52nd. Okay,
Yeah.
plus 2, yeah.
yeah, well, because what happened is it took so long to make that two more releases had already come out by the
Yeah.
time it actually got into shops, you know. But yeah.
Yeah. How do you feel, man? Like a 50th release, and since you 2005, and then 50th release, and then you got a party at the Nakano Moonstep, Moonstep, and
Very nice venue.
yeah, a lot of people comes up there, a lot of friends, yeah, especially the musics, the DJs, like how do you feel after now 2020? Sorry, my math is 15
years.
years. So I mean, you've been around here, and then I mean, you work and you have a family, and then like you hang out here, but you have this baby, you know, like I mean, Call&Response. So how do you feel? I mean, is there in general?
I mean, the target's to release 100 and then just sort of put it to sleep. But so reaching 50 is sort of like, oh shit, I've got to do another 50. Another 15 years, really? But actually, I think we're moving through them faster now than we were when I started. So hopefully it won't take another 15 years to get to 0. But sort of looking back is... I don't know. I mean, it doesn't. I'm still in the middle of it. I mean, literally in the middle of it. So I don't have the sort of perspective. It's difficult to. I won't really be able to say what the kind of value of Call&Response Records is until like I've taken some space or some time away from it. I'm pleased that we're still here.
Yep.
There's a lot of cooler record labels than Call&Response that have appeared over the years and that have just gone away, and so I'm pleased that we're still here, even if we're not like the coolest record label as far as like whoever decides these things is concerned.
Yep.
We're tenacious. We don't give up. However much we might want to sometimes, but yeah, that.
So you were gonna keep on going for the 100th release, yeah?
Yeah, exactly.
150 is possible.
No, it isn't, because we started with the first release. The catalog number was CAR 99, and we've been counting down the catalog numbers.
Yeah.
So after CAR 00, there's not, you can't really go into negative numbers. We've got to end there.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, we're talking about, like, you did a lot of, I mean, before Corona, you did a lot of events, like, in Moonstep, and...
we did a show at Moonstep last Friday as well, like, just streaming only, though.
Yeah, streaming
no
only.
Audience.
Yeah, you still can check it out, and... like,
You can't now, unfortunately.
you can't, it's done.
No, I hit the
You
wrong...
can record it.
I hit the wrong button in the settings on Twitch, and it didn't record. So
Oh, man!
I'll have to do it. Do the same thing again.
Yeah. Do it
Same
again
band,
for-
same lineup, same setup. Just do the whole thing again.
I mean, before that, you have a event like in Shimokitazawa. What's the place name? Long time before Corona, like always in the Monday.
Oh, I mean, I was doing sort of semi-regular events at
Yes.
Shimokitazawa 3.
Yeah, Shimokitazawa 3, and then probably SUBstore is the last venue. Yeah, we collab. I mean, you collaborate. Yeah, I mean, Moonstep is before SUBstore, no?
What happened with SUBstore? I mean, the last sort of Call&Response related event before the crisis really hit was at SUBstore, but I wasn't there because I was in a bicycle accident, and I sort of, I was recovering from brain damage in the. I DJ'd remotely from my house.
Yes,
at that one.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, it was
It
fun.
was a shock story. Like I thought you were drunk, and then but it's happened in the morning before
It was
you
on my way to
work.
work, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Then lucky you you survived before. I mean, you medicated there, and after that the corona coming, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's hell of the
I had one sort of really kind of worrying kind of problem that I had as a result of that was um, not exactly losing, but kind of getting really weird kind of symptoms of my sense of smell and taste, which is like a really common coronavirus symptom, you know. So that kind of freaked me out. But it's also a symptom of the kind of brain injury that I had. So I ended up kind of, it was like which one is it? And you know, the hospital were fairly certain that it was the latter.
yeah.
Either way, I was kind of. So my sort of lockdown period for a while was like this ultra tight lockdown because it was like, oh God, is it the big C, you know?
Yeah. I mean, to stay in the hospital, I saw your post and everything. Once you grab your phone and you put in a song, it's like, oh man, like dude, I feel you, man. Like yeah, a long time ago, I was been in a hospital, hospitalized 2 times. My legs broken and my liver fucked up, and then, but like once you get there, like Jesus, like but I felt you could survive and then share your music again. I mean, keep on writing and then keep on digging a new kind of new talent, new musics all around Japan. Like it's kind of unique, you know, bro. Like 15 fucking years, you know. Like you just stay constant. Like even yeah. To be honest, I didn't know you at the beginning when I was living in Koenji, and you came up, and then in and out, and your friends, your bandmate coming here, they sign in your label, then they try to tell the story like a Call&Response. Like I found out your record sometimes in Disc Union as well, and then yeah, yeah, it's like a wandering,
that's
like
nice.
keep on browsing, like it's kind of so fucking random. Like you brought up, I remember, like the band from Philippines.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. It's called Male Gaze.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I have one of their songs in the kind of queue
Yeah.
as well for playing later.
So I mean, kind of all around, not only from Japan. You release like Philippine, like it's kind of.
Well, I mean, that band from the Philippines, their guitarist at that time had she lived in Japan for a while as like an exchange student, so I knew her from that.
Okay.
It was you know, I met her at a venue in Koenji, so
Yeah.
it's still a local Koenji connection.
Yeah,
Even like being as far away as like Manila.
Yeah. Male Gaze. Yeah, I met him. Like after that, they play live in Dome Studio. They make a like what do you say, after party here. Yeah, they play DJ.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, even I didn't talk. Like it's like a neighbor. I'm Indonesian, they're Philippine. Like hey. I was a little bit scared because they look like really like wow, they're big, and then like they looks like wow, like a girl, you know. Like I was like alright, like nice. But I kind of respect, you know, like South Asian. Yeah, kind of releasing. Yeah,
It's very weird the way that kind of, you know, how big a band
Yeah.
is, sort of the kind of how relative that is, because I think, you know, for example, in the Philippines,
yeah,
I think the music scene there is probably kind of quite a bit smaller than it is in Tokyo. I mean,
yes,
it's weird because I think I get the impression that in the Philippines everybody's a musician almost, but at the same time the actual kind of band scene itself is probably quite a bit smaller than Tokyo, and in the arts scene there, everybody seems to know each other, and so there's a very kind of quick progression from like you start doing something and suddenly everybody talks about it. I mean, I'm sure you know, there's people in the Philippines listening to this being like, dude, I've been doing this for like 10 years and nobody pays attention to us, you know, but
yes,
the impression that I got anyway. There's everybody seems to know each other. The kind of there's people in the media or in like music websites or in culture websites and stuff and magazines who like very quickly kind of pick up on new cool stuff there. Whereas in Japan, there's just so much of it and nobody knows about any of it and things. So the idea, like what's big there and what's big here, it's difficult to kind of judge because it doesn't show itself in the same way. Maybe something like that. Anyway,
That's why it's like last year I think Male Gaze came to Japan last year.
Yeah, I know. It feels like
2 years ago.
It feels like 10 years ago, but it was.
No, I mean,
it was 1 year ago.
1 year ago.
It feels like forever. It feels like another century.
It's kind of impressing me. That's why, like, when I start this show, before, if everybody knows, like, I just play. Ian's like a long time ago asking me also, like, is there any band like a post-rock punk that like really catching him? Like I still keep on thinking about then. That's why when in the first at the beginning of the show, I just play this music is from Fag. Yeah, his 7-inch released by Stockroom Recordings, did by me, my older brothers and me in Jakarta. So I mean, like Southeast Asia, a lot of interesting catchy, like really great stuff as well. I mean, from Malaysia probably we haven't found out. Indonesia, Philippines for sure. I don't know, Cambodia or Vietnam, Thai. Yeah. By the way, you have any another track to play?
I mean,
like
since we're talking about the Male Gaze now, seems
Right.
like a good enough time to play them. There was Before I play it, I was just reminded, like recently, like maybe as an example of just the weird ways in which kind of just the different way that information is kind of distributed and the amount of kind of information can be different between different places, right? So when the Male Gaze were in Japan, we were kind of going around like playing sort of these little punk venues around the country,
like a tour,
yeah. I mean, it was. I think it went pretty well. You know, we kind of recovered the the costs of the tour and everything. Everyone was able to sort of come out of it without having lost too much money, and so we were all kind of like, yes, we didn't lose tons of money on this. Just a few months ago, I can't remember if it was early this year or late last year, when U2 were on tour in the Philippines.
Yes.
Like they had this massive display screen up, and they flashed up a photograph of the Male Gaze behind U2 in the middle of their concert.
Oh man! Actually, I saw inside the U2 the first day I went to Saitama Super Arena, and the last few songs before they play on the huge screen, like for example, a lot of activists, women activists,
right? And I think they kind of change it for every country they're in. Like there's just somebody in U2's staff who's just quickly googling kind of the name of the place and then sort of feminist activists and
feminists
things
or
like that. I mean,
human rights activists from women. I
don't want to kind of accuse U2 of being kind of. I'm sure they're very sincere, but
they're there. I saw them also.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, it's just for me, it was. And whatever message they were trying, the message I'm getting is like, holy shit, that's one of my bands.
Yes, I saw it like Yoko Ono, and then like who's the girl like from Afghanistan, and some Japanese activists, also human rights. I mean, activists. Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, let's have a listen. All right.
From the institution,
So anyway, yeah, like
Yeah.
you two were kind of leeching off their success,
Yes.
and like how leeching off the coolness of call and response bands in order to sort of get their success in the Philippines. They didn't put any photos up of any of my bands on when they came to Japan, though. funnily enough.
Yeah, yeah. God bless them.
God bless you two. Never
God
stop
bless
doing
you
what you're
too.
doing.
Yeah. Anyway, like, I mean, when Corona happens at the beginning, on probably end of February, then March, getting up, then as you know, we don't have any events. I mean, fashion crisis here, no event here, and then even I can't hosting any event in SUBstore anymore, and then you're doing a lot of like kind of crowdfunding and donation for 3 shops. I mean, including SUBstore, Bami, and one more is like Green Apple.
Green Apple, yeah.
Only 3, yeah, so far, yeah. You did
Yeah, I
another
mean, I've been doing kind of other things independently for a couple of other places, for like my a venue in Fukuoka that's been very helpful to us, Utero, and for Moonstep with the thing with Jailbird Y. But yeah, the kind of there's a sort of ongoing fundraising for these 3 places in Koenji.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, it was for me, to be honest, is from the March is confusing time. Like, should I stay? Should I work, or should I stay home, lockdown? But I don't have. Yeah, to be honest, bro. Like, you know me, I know you, so I don't have any pay the rent, especially the rental. Then once you offer me, like, oh my god, like, it's like, God bless, like, thanks a lot. I mean, you support, I mean, with your all the powers, like all the music's live, and then releasings, and then personally thank you to you, and then everyone,
It's all right.
I mean, who's
It's,
banned in the label and support for
yeah,
Call
it's
and
the,
Response or whatever. You donate money.
The money mostly
then-
came from the people who come out here, so it's
I mean,
it's
I
them who
can't-
should be thanked.
I
really.
can't do crowdfunding, as you know, we talked before.
Well, I think people are kind of sick of it now as well.
Yeah,
aren't they?
yeah.
It's,
At the
there's been a
beginning-
lot of it.
Yeah,
and,
at the beginning, I'm kind of a bit shy, because everyone in a difficult time, even you, I don't know, Ian's like everyone's problem. Even they're salaryman, even in the band, but they work as salaryman, or they're freelance or whatever. But like a bit, can you tell me the story about what I mean? How do you gather the people, and then what kind of releasing to get this donation funding so far, like from random people who know you?
It's mostly people just from the community, the same people that you see here, kind of every every month at
Fashion
the
Crisis.
Fashion Crisis, at the event that we do here. Most of the money was from them. There was there was stuff going up from like different bands, and I think some friends or fans of those bands would occasionally throw some money in. But the way I figured it was that if we were going to be, in normal times, if we were going to be coming here maybe once a week anyway, and then just throwing down a couple of $1,000 for drinks, then why not just buy the same number of drinks from the convenience store and then throw down the remaining 1,500 yen here to just like help this place stay open, and to just put aside a little bit every week to kind of help out some places that are likely to be struggling. I mean, I think the other thing I was thinking as well was, I was careful in the places that I picked for this, because at the start I had this feeling like this stuff is gonna last a long time, and there's like in the greater Tokyo area, there's maybe like 800 live music venues. I think there's hundreds of them, and I just figured a lot of those are going to go bankrupt. A lot of them are going to close down. This is going to be a huge like destructive kind of act in the music scene. The government wasn't showing a huge amount of enthusiasm for helping out financially, and as far as I know, still hasn't. And in what do you call it in like the medical term, the triage. That where the doctors decide who's worth trying to save and who's just gonna die anyway, and like there's a bit of economic triage about this. That I suspect the government are kind of thinking along those lines as well. It's like, well, we're not going to waste money on these places that are doomed. And there was a bit of me thinking, well, what are some places around me that are small enough that the tiny amount of money I could conceivably raise might be useful to?
Yeah.
If I'm giving 20,000 yen to a kind of a big live house, that money's just sort of a drop in the ocean for them. It's like that won't help them. They're still, if they live or die, it won't be depending on that. But to a small place, like to somewhere like Green Apple, maybe that money is the difference between them being able to pay the rent that month and
that's correct,
and not. So I kind of deliberately focused on small places because I thought, well, in the long term, we might conceivably be successful in helping them.
Yeah, then like you're so generous, and like as we talked before, like community support each other is really important. I mean, small places, but with the huge heart, huge impact. Like even you send me, I think 3 times, like
there's a bit more to send soon as well.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting until there's enough of it
Yeah,
that it's
yeah,
worth
I
doing
mean-
the bank transfer.
Yeah, because we don't know until when, and then thanks a lot, by the way. I mean, thank you very much. Like, and then today talk show. Sorry, like we're gonna have almost 1 hour. So, but anyway, Ian F.Martin, Call and Response. Everybody, hope you enjoy. Maybe one last song.
Yeah, all right. This one's appropriate. It's from the vinyl, if you got it somewhere. This is
Brainstorm.
yeah. This is our friend Brian from New York. He's DJ'd here a couple of times when he comes to
He
Japan.
played
He played
live.
live.
He played live one
didn't
time,
he?
yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Hey Brian,
And
if you see us,
yeah, if you're watching, I don't think he is. But,
hope you're safe.
he's he left some albums for our little store last time, and including this one, which is a sort of test press of his new album at the time. I think with a kind of handmade cover that he sort of screen printed himself. So
Yes,
it's extremely
it's gonna have a
rare
texture.
thing.
Yeah.
And kind of this song's kind of appropriate given what we were just talking about. It's called "The Last Club on Earth."
The last club on earth.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. See you guys. Thank you very much.
Yeah.